Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you is the Bay Area rapper Too Short. He calls himself Too Short because he's 5'7" in height and he's 54 years old. Within the past couple of days, he made some very controversial comments about his preference and the type of women that he likes. At his age, I found that to be a pity, to be honest with you. And it raised some eyebrows with people who heard the comments. And I want you to hear the comments, and I will get back with my commentary.
Okay, so when I leave out the Bay, when I leave from the Bay as a youngster moving around, you would see a girl, she kind of fair skin, lighter skin, and she got a little hair, and whatever, curly, straight hair, whatever. And you're like, hey, what you mixed with? And they would get offended. They'd be like, I'm black, I'm black. And I'm like, nah, you definitely mixed with something. And they would get mad. But in the Bay, you could meet a girl before you can say her name, be like, hey, what you mixed with? And she'd probably tell you that her mama's this, her daddy's that. And mixed heritage women have always been my favorite. Like, I don't think I've ever fallen in love with a woman that wasn't mixed.
Really?
And the Bay did that to me.
Really?
Because it's something you get, I feel that way about life too. Like relationships.
Do you like interracial relationships?
I am from the Bay. Does that answer that?
Yeah, so let people know what they can find in the Bay Area. Because I know there's a lot of Filipinos out there, and I'm half
Okay,
Filipino.
so when I leave out the Bay, when I leave from the Bay as a youngster moving around, you would see a girl, she kind of fair skin, lighter skin, and she got a little hair and whatever, curly, baby. And you can see the features in it, though. You're like, but y'all did, I see it. True story.
One thing that I really experienced about traveling outside the Bay Area, what's crazy is, like, there ain't a lot of Filipinos in the rest of America. Because when I say that I'm mixed with Filipino, they be like, damn, you hella exotic. But I'm like, nah, like in the Bay, that's hella normal. So I think it's crazy how different areas got their like dominant type of, heritages. Because when you go to the Bay, it's hella Asians and it's hella black folk.
Yeah, I seen a picture of your mama. You got Chip right off the old block. She did you good.
I'm defensive when it comes to my mom.
I ain't said nothing except I know where you got it from.
Oh yeah, she cute. She fine. She finer than me. So yeah.
She finer than me. Hey. So what's next on the You got a lot of shows this summer? They canceled, baby, and you can see the features.
Like, because being pretty is just such a word that's been thrown around. And you feel me? I heard your comment about, you feel me, when people come together, they make a beautiful baby. But black women is beautiful, period, on their with their own blood. You feel me?
No doubt about it. And I have in all of my mixed adventures, I have had wonderful relationships with beautiful black women and other women of one race. But I like the mix, man. That's just my thing. That's just something the Bay did to me, and I like the mix though. When it's authentic, you know what I mean? I don't like when
because being pretty is just.
Okay, so you heard the comments from Too Short, stating that he likes biracial and other types of women, in which he is seen herewith. Now, his comments were very problematic on so many levels. And this is so unfortunate because here we are in 2020, and we as black people are still dealing with colorism, featureism, hair texturism, all the other isms that puts us against each other and not like ourselves. We're not liking ourselves and considering others more beautiful, desirable. This is one of the reasons why I'm not too much into interracial unions or marriages or hookups or things like that. Well, here's the reason why. It just seems like to me that we as black people have too many things that we have not addressed or dealt with ourselves. We have too many issues that we still need to iron out among ourselves. We have so many things to conquer, to get over, to deal with. How can we say love is love, go out there and loving other races of people, other groups of people, other ethnicities, when we don't even love ourselves? You know, I want to address a couple of things in which he stated. People, here he is preferring a certain type of a look. But look at his daughter, though. Now, he stated that biracial women make pretty babies. Now, his daughter's beautiful. I would never talk about a baby. She's a beautiful young girl. But she doesn't look biracial to me. Now, maybe her mother could be black and white, and he's black. She's going to come out the majority black. But she doesn't look biracial to me. And I'm wondering, is he disappointed? And this is a point in which I want to make. You're liking biracial women and you're liking others. What will happen if you were to hook up with a biracial woman or an other, but your baby came out looking more negroid, more black? Which there's not anything wrong with that. But according to him, because he likes a certain type of look, he sees that there's something wrong with that. He does not value the way that black people look. He wants something other. You heard him say out of his own mouth that biracial or other women make pretty babies. Foolish. You got to think about this man is 54 years old. You would have thought at that age, you're going to have a sense of grace, wisdom about you. You're going to have dealt with all of that colorism, featureism stuff. That's something that you would have had like in your 20s. But here you are 30 years later and you're still dealing with it. Man, you talk about being defeatish. I mean, what a way to be, live in defeat. Really, where you're not really accepting women who look like your mother, your sister, your aunts. You like others. Then it goes to, even if you're biracial, or you have a biracial daughter or child, they can still come out with 4C hair. How are you going to feel about that? How will you deal with that? Would that not be good enough for you? They can come out with just as kinky hair as two black parents. Because they're biracial does not mean that it's going to equate to what brainwashed blacks call good hair. You could be biracial and look very negroid or very black, to the point that 4C hair and you don't even look biracial. Will you be disappointed with that type of a look? And I want to say one thing. I think it's foolish for a man to state that, or anyone to state that, they like a biracial look, when there are so many black people with the biracial look. I did a video a couple of weeks ago about blacks who look more biracial than most biracials. Black people have such a spectrum, a wide variety of looks. We are the most diverse people on the planet. So how foolish can you be talking about, I like biracials? It just goes to show that you don't like yourself, that you like something other than black, that you want to get away from black. And I want to address the whole issue about living in the Bay Area, the Bay ruined you, or the Bay changed you. No, it was not the Bay. It was your weak mentality. It was you not being connected to blackness, not being connected to your ancestors, to your culture, to your heritage, and not having a love for that. I truly believe that when people have a love for their culture, heritage, and who they are as a black person, they would not want to reproduce a child that does not look like them. They would not deliberately go out there and reproduce out. So it shows right there that there is something deeply entered within that they need to work on because it's definitely broken. Here he is when he was younger. This is when I encountered him, to be honest with you. He is he was born in Los Angeles. He moved to the Bay Area, but he came back to Long Beach or the Los Angeles area about 20 years ago, and he was giving out a mixie tape. He gave me and a friend of mine a tape of him, and he looked pretty much like this here. Boy, I don't know what happened. Don't mean to talk about him, but that's some serious aging for a black person to do. Seriously, normally speaking, we don't age this differently. But I guess he's been through a lot. And I guess mentally, he's still going through a lot. If you're dealing with colorism, texturism, featureism at 54 years old, that's really a pity, I think, for someone to be that age up in there and still haven't gotten that together yet. So it just goes to show you that I guess I'm not telling you anything that you don't already know. Celebrity, money does not mean that you have it all together. It can be the contrary, that you're far from it. And people may say that, well, this is just his preference of what he likes. But let me just tell you something. Sometimes preferences or what you preference or your preferences can be an indication of how you have allowed yourself to be tilted, to be brainwashed, to be manipulated, where you have allowed yourself to get an inferiority complex. And these preferences that you claim, they're not just harmless. These preferences are like a way of life. I have not followed his career, to be honest with you, but I can bet you the type of women he likes to hire in his videos. I can bet you what they look like. They're not going to look like Lupita Nyong'o. They're going to look like the biracial or the non-black women that he likes. And this goes to show you about people with so-called preferences and who think that it's just harmless. God forbid if they were in retail, customer service, they would treat people who they like, who they find more attractive, who is their type. They would treat them better. They would smile more, be nicer, be more friendlier, be more courteous, the whole gamut. So I'm not down with that stuff about it's just a preference, it's harmless. No. I mean, you can make someone have a bad day, a bad week, a bad year. You can give them bad years based upon your discrimination. So Too Short, that name suits him very well because mentally he's come up very short. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you beyond and through.